charging gas and filling BBs in the LM4D AGS magazine. First, release magazine by pressing the mag catch on the LM4D. Ensure that there is no gas currently in the magazine by depressing the release valve. Grab your can of green gas. Locate the fill valve at the bottom of the magazine. Fill gas by pressing the green gas needle into the fill valve underneath. The manual says 35 to 45 seconds for green gas fill, but you can also audibly hear for gas filling in the magazine. LM4 series comes with this manual BB loader. How this works is you place the little adapter onto the mag lips, you fill this tube with BBs, and then you slide it down, filling it, force filling, or you can use a KWA BB loader with the included adapter, and you can fill BBs that way. And you're good to go. So that's loading BBs and loading gas. Loading the magazine, insert the magazine into the mag well. Give it a good tap, make sure it's nice and in there. Pull the charging handle back. If it is locked back, you want to depress the mag catch button, which is this paddle, and it will slide the bolt home. And now your gun is ready to be fired. KWA LM4D is a select fire gas blowback rifle. It has safe, semi-automatic, and full automatic modes. Do not squeeze the trigger while you are switching the fire selector switch, and the selector switch will not turn when the hammer is not cocked. That means if I pull the trigger and I try to return it to safe, it will not flip to safe. But should I pull the bolt back? Now let me go on safe. The LM4D comes with flip-up PTS polymer backup sights. The front sight has a little knob here for elevation, and the rear sight has a knob here for windage, left and right. Additionally, the rear sight does have an aperture selector. In the bottom position, you have the aperture fully open and a wide peephole for longer engagements and automatic firing, where if you pull the aperture up, you get that miniature peephole, better for precision shooting. And to adjust this, you just rotate the front dial left to right, and this rear dial clockwise or counterclockwise. LM4D disassembly and reassembly. First thing, drop your magazine by depressing the mag catch button. Charging handle back. Push out your takedown pin. Might need a punch to do so. And the front takedown pin. You should separate the upper from the lower and pull up your upper. Grab the charging handle and pull it to the rear, releasing your bolt carrier group. And you are able to do most of the maintenance and inspection from this field strip position. Next, we will return it back to operating status. Pick the charging handle and place it over the gas key. And then this slides into the upper receiver from the rear. Insert it into the upper. Make sure your takedown pin is pulled out before returning the upper to the lower. Line up the rear, make sure the buffer's kind of out of the way, give it a good snap. Push the pin back in, cycle the bolt to make sure it's free. You can lock the bolt to the rear by depressing the bottom of the mag catch. You can inspect for any BBs in the chamber, and then the bolt catch releases the bolts. And you are back into an assembled position. Okay, to adjust the LM4D hop-up, this is a new rotary style hop-up that's specific to the LM4D. You want to separate the upper and lower, and you will see a dial that's right here where the chamber is. And this is the new adjustment wheel for the LM4D. Rotate it to the right increases the hop-up, and rotating to the left decreases the hop-up. All right, 3 of the most common wear and tear parts on the LM4D AGS gas magazine is the fill valve, the release valve, and the magazine lips. In order to replace these parts, grab your Allen screwdriver and take off the Allen screw that's keeping the floor plate in. With that gone, you can push off the floor plate. It's a little bit stiff. All right. With the floor plate off, the magazine body would be released. Double check that the cutoff system is still intact. This piece may or may came off. You want to keep this little guy on here. Additionally, on the left side of the valve, you'll see this detent pin here. Be extra cautious to keep that under positive control, because what can happen is that pin can slide off and you can lose it. And what that pin is used for is that detent pin keeps the valve extension on here. And in order to change that valve, I will show you. So you could drift the detent to the left a little bit, which would then release the extension. And now you have access to the exhaust valve there. And to double check that you have no more gas in the system, easy enough. Push on the button, make sure the valve doesn't spew out any more gas. Take out that extension. And with the KWA release valve key, line up the notches on the key with the notches in the valve, and that should back out your gas valve. All right, using the LM4 gas key, line up the notches on the key with the notches inside of the release valve. And after a few turns, your release valve should come free. Now to pull out the mag lips, go ahead and grab a tiny punch. You're gonna need to drift out this front pin here and this pin almost center on the magazine. Again, you're gonna need a small punch and a little mallet. And with these 2 long pins removed, the magazine lip should come right off. You can replace this magazine lip, and you can also replace the magazine main seal. And with these 2 parts off, you can actually see where the release valve fits inside the system. So if you were to insert the release valve, you can actually see where the release valve allows gas into the system. So with a new release valve in there, what you want to do is line up the opening of the release valve so that the hole is up and down vertically. One of the things you can do from this position is give it a quick gas and listen for any air coming out of there. And to double check it has a good seal, you can leave it there for a few minutes or listen for any leaks. But a couple seconds of gas will tell me that I have gas in there and it is maintaining a seal, and I can double check that by depressing the release valve. All right, so that's good there. I can drop in a new magazine main seal here, replace the magazine lips, and note that the differences between the 2 pins. The thinner pin is the front pin here, and then the thicker pin is the rear pin. And this is what secures the mag lips back onto the magazine. The fill valve just takes a little flathead screwdriver. And that's your fill valve. Place it back into the bottom of the magazine. Again, these has notches here, so a flathead screwdriver is the perfect tool to get this back in. Replace the release valve extension. We'll push the detent to keep that from flying out. The dry fire switch that cuts off the bolt will on empty. And then you can slide it back into the AGM shell. Replace the floor plate. Return the Allen screw. And your magazine is back to new. Depress the mag catch to release the magazine. Make sure the chamber is clear of any BBs. Depress the rear takedown pin to separate up the upper and the lower. Pull out the charging handle, set that aside. With the KWA cleaning rod, find the looped end and place a cleaning patch on the tip of there. You're gonna insert it into the inner barrel, and you're just gonna give it a couple good pushes all the way through. You should inspect the cleaning patch for any debris. Usually there's kind of a little bit of dirt on there. Swap that out and give it a couple another good runs until it's clear. And return the charging handle and bolt back into the upper as normal. Return the upper, give it a couple good cycles, and your rifle is clean. Some of the main lubrication points on the LM4D is your magazine main seal, which is this rectangular square just behind the feed lips. Inside the bolt carrier group and inside the bolt, if you were to manually pull it out, you'll see your large bolt O-ring here. That should be lightly lubricated with 1 or 2 drops of lubrication. The outer bolt carrier body can also use a little bit of lube, but too much lubrication would actually collect dirt and dust, so use lubrication sparingly. And we suggest silicone-based gun lubrication and avoid any aerosol or spray lubrication for this purpose.